In this third episode of Everything You Need to Know About Clinical Trials, we will be discussing what phase 2 clinical trials are, what you can expect when you're thinking about joining one. My name is Dr. Maria Velez. I'm a medical oncologist at the University of California, Los Angeles. Let's talk about phase 2 trials. So if a treatment looks promising in a phase 1 trial, it moves to the second phase, which is a phase 2 study. Now, the focus shifts from safety to whether the treatment actually works. In phase 2 trials, we're looking to see, does the medication help shrink tumors? Does it slow the cancer down? Does it help patients feel better? These trials are about measuring effectiveness rather than understanding the dosing like phase 1 studies are. So what can you expect when participating in a phase 2 study? So in a phase 2 study, you will form part of a larger group of patients. Because these trials are often focused on a specific cancer type or patients with certain genetic markers or features, it is possible that you will require testing for these. Some phase 2 studies are randomized. Not all of them, but some of them are, which means you may receive the new treatment that is being evaluated, so the investigational drug, versus the standard of care, or uncommonly a placebo. Just like in phase 1 studies, you will be closely monitored with scans, blood works, and frequent checkups with your doctor. And if we see that there is a shrinkage in the tumor, if the tumor is getting smaller, then you may be able to continue on the treatment. However, if we see that the tumor is getting larger, you may have to consider other options, and this will be discussed with you with your investigational team. So the goals of phase 2 studies are to evaluate if the treatment works. They do focus on continuing to monitor safety. They confirm what they tested in phase 1 studies to understand the best dose and schedule. They test the medication in a larger group of patients. They target specific cancers or biomarkers. And they help determine whether the medication should be tested in a larger phase 3 study, which is the registrational study, which will basically help determine whether the drug will be FDA approved or not. And we will talk about phase 3 studies in our next episode. So what are the pros and cons of joining a phase 2 trial? So the pros are that there is more evidence of effectiveness because it's already been tested in a phase 1 study. There's safer and more refined dosing. More patients have received this medication as opposed to patients in phase 1 studies. These, as I mentioned, are tailored to specific cancers or biomarkers. There is better side effect awareness. And again, it grants access to promising therapies. The cons is that the treatment's still experimental. There are no guarantees that it will work. There may still be side effects, though phase 1 studies help us understand them better. And they don't always lead to FDA approval. And usually a phase 3 study is needed in order to determine whether the drug will be approved by the FDA.